Okay, we got the notice that we're live, Ashante. Are you ready to start the
Hey,
show?
I'm ready.
Okay,
Hello,
okay.
hello, everyone. We are the Coley Crowns. I'm Shante.
And I'm Lori, and welcome to our Queendom. Hi, guys.
Yes, here at the Coley Crowns, we review Married at First Sight. We
Mm-hmm.
are currently on season 16, episode 4. If
Yes.
you haven't caught our previous lives going through the weddings and everything, go back and watch those. But welcome, and we hope that you'll continue to join us every Sunday at 4:30 ish to communicate and talk to us about Married at First Sight. And so we look forward to getting more people involved and telling us your thoughts and everything and joining us live during the broadcast. Are we ready to get started? Oh, we have a guest. Look at that. Our first guest of the live.
This is life. We're live. And this is, I'm sorry, guys. Last week she was screaming in there and she wanted to make a cameo appearance this time. Sorry about that. All right. So, yes. Can I just start off by saying that I am so excited about this new format that we have going on at Mavs? All these short timelines is like making my day. Absolutely.
Yes. I totally agree. I was watching it like, man, previous seasons, it would take forever to get through the wedding, the reception, and then like on this last week's episode to talk to the parents and the loved ones of each person, and they were zipping right through all of that. So it's nice to have that condensed timeline, and so we can just get right into the the marriage, right? And seeing what's
Yes.
happening. Like we don't need
Yes.
all of that. Now let's
We
just get into
don't.
the real deal and see what's
It's
happening.
like cutting all the fluff, trimming all the fat, even though it's not a lot of real details that's happening right now, like we've seen in past seasons. I'm just happy that it's not an extra 30 minutes of just
Just
repeating the
nothing.
same thing over and over again. Long intros of what happened last week. We watched the show. We remember what happened last week. These long updates of what's happening next week. Just end it. Just end it and just give us what we need. So I'm very excited about that. I just wanted to make sure that I did not forget. Thank you, Mavs, for listening to all of us and having and making us feel better that it's now a 2-hour show completely with the after party. It's great. Love it. Okay, sorry. Now we could talk about these couples. Who do you want to start with,
Well,
Ashante?
I think we usually start with Jasmine and Eris, so we can start there. So
Jasmine and
all the
Eris.
weddings are all the weddings are complete, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've done the reception, and so this episode kind of starts with the first night after the wedding. And
Mm-hmm.
so Jasmine and Eris goes to the room and they walk in and she goes to get comfortable and he gets in bed. He's like he tired. He was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think nothing's gonna be going down, but I can muster up some energy if she like do want to do it, sir.
Is this all he
Um,
has to talk about? Like, I feel like there's no other conversation or substance to Eris. This is all he talks about or insinuates about.
it that seems to be the case, at least how they have framed him, because
Yeah.
going into next week's episode, a question that comes up and it's like, really? So they
There's
definitely
nothing
make it seem
else?
like that's all he's interested in.
And last
And I
week
guess
we
when you're a
forgot to
former
talk about
playboy,
it. I guess
oh well.
last week we forgot to mention what he said to his boys about the wedding night, that what would you like to happen tonight or whatever, and he said Jasmine on her knees or something like that. I totally
Oh, I
missed
missed that.
this. I totally missed it because
I missed that.
I listen to other, like, or I'm in Facebook groups and stuff like that, and people have referenced it, and it's not just one, that he actually said Jasmine on her knees or on her knees. That's what he was.
Aries.
And I'm not surprised at this point. He's just like, he just gives F boy vibes. And not only F boy vibes, because we're gonna get to the first night of the honeymoon, he also gives me other vibes too. And I'm just like, what? Why? He's just gross to me. But okay, sorry, continue.
I mean, my whole train of thought is gone because I want to say it might be how the show is framing him, but again, the show can only use what you give. So you're saying these things; these are coming out, so it is a part of him.
So that night, if we're talking about the night of the wedding night, she comes out in this like, you know, wedding night kind of outfit with a rope. No, the rope is on top of her, you know, the naughty wear. And so, you know, she comes out and he was just like, oh, he perked up because usually his affect is very monotone. It's like this, you know. So then she came out, he was like, okay, I like that.
Excited, right?
I can't believe he actually looked her in her eyes, because most of the time he be all over the place. So I'd be like, look at her. She is trying to talk to you. And he's just like, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So drinking your tea. So that was one time that I saw him actually have a little bit more character, energy. I don't know. But he just rubs me the wrong way. From his edit from the very first time we saw him has always rubbed me the wrong way. And nothing has changed.
Same. Yeah, everything you just said, I feel the same way from the very beginning. Again, I don't know how they be choosing these people. I don't get it.
So, okay, let's talk about this. Because on the after party, they kind of insinuated, was it after party? No. It was at one of the family meetings. They kind of insinuated that the men do not actually sign up for this process. Like, they are recruited. And what's his name? Shaq actually also said, oh yeah, I saw the billboards and this and that. Like, it's like the men are not going through the whole full process because maybe they don't have enough men, which is very evident of who they picked on this show, because the men are usually lacking and the women look like they're more ready for marriage in a lot of cases. So
true.
You know what I mean? So it looks like, let's get as many men as possible. Let's offer them something to go through this process, because you cannot have a marriage show with just women. So,
and
so
I've seen something else. If it wasn't another kind of dating show, same thing where they have to recruit these men. Like, people sign them up. Men don't just go sign themselves up for these shows. So that's very true. What you just said. Like, there's already going to be a small pool of people, and so then you really got to try to pick, okay, the best of the best out of that pool, which is probably still, like they say, it's pee in the pool.
Okay, Shante got
sorry, y'all.
Today.
I got tea today. I'm trying to keep warm too, but I got some tea. Okay. So okay, anything else with the wedding night?
No, I guess they cuddle or whatever. She ends up like laying on his shoulder, and I guess they said that's how they woke up the next day, is that they cuddled all night. So, you know, surprise, nothing happened that night. That's what everybody wants us to believe. Nothing happened the wedding night. So,
okay. So next day they go and meet each other's family, and poor Jasmine, she met with his cousin who's been against this, who still
needs a real shirt. You need a real shirt. Do you? I mean,
I paid more attention to what she had on from the wedding. It is real low.
It's ill-fitting. It does not look right.
She needs something to perk her up there, for sure.
It looks terrible. Terrible. And then you have the nerve to wear the same type of shirt the next day after that looks terrible. Stop that. Stop. That would have been my rebuttal. When you start questioning me, I'm like, do you have a real shirt? Guess I can't talk to you like this no more because this is all I see. It's chest.
Stop it.
You coming for me, I'm gonna come for you.
No, she was Miss Pageant Queen as far as they were concerned. Her response to every question was rehearsed. And I'm like, y'all need to give this girl a break. And then why are you still on this? Like, if she wasn't his cousin and she was just like some friend, I'd be like, you in love with this man? What's going on? Like, something, you got just a little too much to say and against this. Now, the wedding day is over. Why are you still
and he is grown? Like this? He is grown. His mama's sitting there in love with this lady, okay? Aaron said on the after party, which the after party is a part of the episode now. I see why they did this because this is where we get all the tea. He said that he's the only child and the only person that can carry on the lineage. So the mama is looking for this grandbaby. Okay, so he's like, she's looking at this lady like, you look great. Yes, you on this show. Who cares? Let's go ahead and start making these kids. Let's go. I like you. And she don't have nothing to say. This lady foul with her no shirt wearing self take over the entire conversation. The mama couldn't even get a question out. She was just attacking this lady. And then they had a confessional with her. Why are we having confessionals with this lady? And they were like, oh, what do you think about his new wife? What?
She had to go off screen.
You said what? This is funny.
That's so funny.
This is just crazy. Oh my God. Girl. Stop this. Stop it.
At least he could say on the after show that her opinion does not matter. Like, if anybody is his mama, like, if this were to move forward and continue. And that's how it should be. It's their marriage. But now, what was interesting that came out of that conversation was that Jasmine is 7 months out of her last relationship.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Do you feel like that's too soon?
I initially, first thought, I would kind of say yes. But I think it really does depend on the person and maturity of them. And then, like she said, that could have been over for a while. It's just the date stamp. So, if that's the case, it's kind of like, well, Mac kind of did something very similar.
Oh my God. Not talking about
I think for her, I think she knew what she wanted. She's been going through it. I think for her, it's fine. I think it really just, it depends on the individual.
I agree. I don't think it's that tight of a turnaround time. I don't think it's that. You're like, oh, that's fresh. I guess you acting like Eris was sleeping with somebody 2 weeks ago. Okay. I understand that's not a relationship, but he was in this process knowing he could have been one of the top picks and you were still out here sleeping with people. Go talk to your cousin. Stop talking to me. Go talk to him because this is just a waste of time right now. So I don't think it's that fresh. I don't think her answers were made up or rehearsed or anything like that. I felt like she just answered them. And I think Foul thought that she was going to trip her up and she didn't. She had all this stuff ready to be, oh, I'm going to get her with this one. All right, this going to let me get her with this one. And then she was like, oh, man. She was just like, ooh, you Pageant. Ooh, you got the perfect answer. Ooh. No. Girl, put a shirt on. That would just be my report.
Oh my gosh.
You have a jacket? Can you put a jacket, like a shawl? Do you have a shawl? Like something? A poncho?
Oh my God.
An umbrella? I don't know. Put something on. Please. Thank you. All right. So I don't even know if I have. The debrief, right? So he meets with her dad, mom, somebody else was there. Oh, brother.
Her
that
brother. Mm-hmm.
conversation was super nice. They all were
Great.
so nice to him. He just answered
Right.
questions. He didn't seem so monotone there. He did have a little bit of like trying to answer questions, but it was just a nice meeting. It was all great. And after all of that, they come back to the room. Jasmine was like, "Ooh,
Ooh,
we had a
child.
child last night."
Like she done been through it.
And it was like, "Ooh, your family is for you. She is for you too." She didn't know what else to say. She's like, "I don't want to disrespect this man's family that I just met and married into, but let me tell you by not telling you, okay? Because he was like, I came back from her family to like, oh, like, you know, like a regular meet and greet. And she came back like she was in a wrestling match or a
Worked
boxing
a double shift or something.
match.
She did though. When she walked in that door, that was the first thing I thought. I was like, dang girl. Like
And she was so
she
cute. She
looked
was ready
funny.
for a nice little, I don't even know if she ate food. She was probably just like, oh my God, can I just go? Are we done? Is the tape over? Like, I can't take it. So I felt bad for her, but I think she will grow teeth over time. I think this is very new. So you don't want to be disrespectful. You have that fine line that you're like,
Mhm.
oh, girl, all right, I'm gonna answer these questions, but you gonna get on my nerves with your no shirt wearing.
Oh,
Okay.
and coming up, right, when they move in and they have those
Ooh, she
get-togethers,
gonna
she
come
gonna be
back.
there. That's
If she
probably
don't have a
when
shirt
she'll
on, I'm gonna be upset.
I was like, that's probably when Jasmine will speak up and be like, listen, you
This my
need to
house.
like pause.
This my house.
Yeah, this is our marriage. You had your little say 3 weeks ago, or whatever. Like,
Mm-mm.
leave it alone. He a grown man. He made his decision.
She is so annoying. But yeah, that's all really for the whole day. I know she went to go get her hair braided, and which is also like, I don't know how they have time to do all that. Get my hair braided the day before a trip.
No, that timeline was something else because they show that and she's like, okay, I'm gonna go get my hair braided. Then it shows 4 hours later and it's the basket showing where they're going for their honeymoon. I was like, this girl didn't get her hair braided in no 4 hours and made it back that quick.
She had
Y'all
20
confused some of the
braiders.
other people?
No,
Huh?
20. She had like per braid, there was two people per braid every time. It was just like, yes. No, okay. What?
And made it back. No.
Listen,
Mm.
this is movie magic. Don't you wish you had movie
I
magic
know.
when you get your hair braided? So,
I sure wish I could. Yes.
oh my
But
God.
anywho, but yeah, so that was their day. She went
Yes.
got hair braided. Now they're getting ready to go to. I think we already mentioned it last week, but Jamaica is the
Yes.
honeymoon spot. So they're ready to go. Okay, so we can move to next couple. Or you have anything else?
Let's talk about the actual trip to Jamaica later, right? We'll separate it like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's do that. So yeah, let's go to I'll pick my favorite couple because there wasn't really much. Christopher and Nicole, because you know, this is my only hope. All right. So I don't remember that much. That's why I was like, let's go to them because I don't remember that much for the next morning. He's still very complimentary of her, laying it on thick,
Very,
like thick, 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 thick,
very.
thick, thick, thick. But I
Mhm.
think it's helped boosting their connection because it looks like she really needs this. I think over time this will get old. So if he doesn't dial it down a little bit or make it more personable, where it's not like a general statement that he can make to anybody, but actually
Mm.
things that attribute to her character and what she's doing, then I can see that getting old. But right now,
Mhm.
this is nice for day
Oh no,
two
she
to
loved
have.
it, right?
Yeah, she's sucking it up. She is enjoying it. So that's great. I mean, every time she says something semi-negative, he turns it around into a compliment. Like she was just like, "Yeah, you know, it takes me a long time to do makeup in the morning." He's like, "What? Not makeup? Because you're beautiful. Just
You don't
waking."
need it. And she's like, oh,
is. I
That's
mean,
okay.
she loves it. So it's great for now. I'm already kind of semi disgusted about how many dogs are going to be in their bed, but that's neither here nor there. Um, and the dog hair that's going to just be just a layer.
Uh,
Just okay. I'm sorry to those that sleep with dogs in the bed. Three of them. That's all I had to say. Three. Okay. It's just a lot. Um, and then so she meets with his mom and dad and brother or
and brother.
okay.
Mom, dad,
So
and brother. They are in love with her, accepted her.
yes, but it just makes me feel very sad about both of them, right? Both of them look like they have very low self-esteem and needs some kind of
Oh,
therapy. And this is before they even get on the honeymoon where I was just like, absolutely. But just the description of Chris to Nicole of his past relationships, how he probably stays around
mm-hmm.
in it too long, how he
Too long.
loses himself in a relationship. I was just like, oh my God. They were like, what are you setting this girl up for? They just coming in and just be like, oh, you need to be very careful with this man's heart, which you should be, but it's more like cover it with a blanket, wrap it up, make sure you don't like bruise it at all. It's very a lot, I think. It's a lot. What do you think?
No, totally agree. When I think it was the brother that brought that up, kind of like
Mm,
you can see even in his face, like his concern of like, okay, this man really dives into his relationships
yeah.
and becomes so attached to the other person that kind of jumping into this is like maybe not the best idea, but
No.
they seem to in a way need each other in those aspects.
I
And
hope
so that could
though.
be,
I don't know. That could be like trauma bonding, right? Isn't that
I
like
was going to say that
the
could be a good or a bad thing.
yeah.
So we'll have to see, but definitely, I think even with him landing on thick, those are kind of the starts of the signs of okay, he's really falling. He's about to fall
Yeah.
real deep into this.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? She made it known that she think it's important that they kind of each have their own
Mm-hmm.
space or have their own
Mm-hmm.
thing. So hopefully that happens and he can accept that,
Yeah.
and he does have his own thing. What is his thing? Do
Sports.
they even
Didn't he
sports?
say he really was into sports?
Okay, remember. Okay. So then
I thought
hopefully
so.
he has his sports things and he can do that and she can do her own
That's
thing.
not
So they
gonna
won't
happen.
be
That's not gonna happen. He gonna want to come. And she said she was just like, "Oh, when I want to go out with my friends and stuff, he better not tell me to stay home because that's gonna be unacceptable to me." No, no, he's not gonna tell you to stay home. He's gonna say, "I'm coming. We can go. I'm
let's
coming.
go. I'm one of the girls tonight, huh?
I'm coming. I'll be over here." He gonna be telling jokes, impersonating people. He's coming.
Oh Lord.
He's coming.
Doing his
Okay,
impersonation.
absolutely.
Well,
So,
we'll see. And then like what you're saying with Nicole,
mhm.
like she needs that flattery because of what she's gone through. And
Yeah.
that could totally be an issue too. But you're right. There's definitely some low self-esteem between the two of them. And
It's
it
kind
might
of
be a good or a
scary.
bad thing. Like you said, trauma bonding, especially we say we'll talk about it
Yeah.
later with the honeymoon part, but that was like a uh-oh to me between what
Well,
might be
so
to come
the breakfast with Nicole and his family was my uh-oh on Chris, and then we
hmm
get to the uh-oh on Nicole.
for
So
her.
I was just like, what is this episode is a lot for my only hope. I don't know. So then he meets with her dad, her mom.
Her dad, her mom, and stepdad.
Oh, the stepdad was there? Hey, did he
Yeah,
say
he was
something?
quiet though. He didn't say
Oh, I
nothing.
was
They
like, he
didn't show he
didn't say
said
nothing.
nothing.
The mama didn't really
He was
say
just
much
there.
either. Okay, so
No, it was the dad that was trying to
first of
be like
all,
the check my
first,
daughter.
this is my problem with him. I feel like he was just saying whatever he thought he was supposed to say. That's number one. I think they actually really like Chris, but they were just trying to rattle him a little bit to see if he was gonna like be off track. But I actually think they like each other. The fact that your daughter, and maybe he doesn't know this, but then that's even scarier, is on TV talking about traumatic abuse in relationships, and you're worried about this situation, okay?
Mm-hmm.
How did she get to a place where she felt that that was acceptable for a man to do that to her when you have been the father figure that you're trying to portray right now on TV?
Do we need to just go ahead and say what it was?
Let's talk about
We're
it.
just alluding to it. Might as
Go
well
ahead. Go
say.
ahead. Talk about.
Okay, so fast forward, they're in Jamaica at the honeymoon. They're in the bed and they are having a moment. And so she talks about a very traumatic experience that she had with like her very like first relationship
Early
where
relationship.
yeah, so like she didn't really give a time frame. I was initially thinking teenage years, maybe early
She said
20s,
she
but
was
she didn't
young.
say
Yeah, but she didn't say an
right.
age. Mm-hmm.
She didn't specify.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna say late teens, early 20s.
Yeah.
For us guessing. And so self-esteem being really low, how this man basically dogged her out and told her that she was lucky that he liked her and all this stuff. And even to the point where he burned her with a cigarette because he was like, if you love me, you'll let me burn you. And she was like, oh yeah, sure. So she has a burn mark on her arm, which I thought this was the sweetest thing. He kisses it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, girl, what in the world? Like, I hope you have really grown from that to where you are now.
I
But
don't know. I
that
don't know
really
about
just
that.
spoke volumes of who she is or
Yeah.
was. Mm.
No, I don't think she has gone past that. Number one, that's all she told us, right? This is one story. And if you are with somebody who will burn you with a cigarette, there's probably
I'll
more
tell her what
behind
else.
that story.
Hmm.
And that's why I'm upset at her daddy. Who are you to go through all of this talking about serial killers and this and that? And like, with your child, only
Maybe he
child?
don't know. I mean, she may not have never told what happened.
No, it's not about telling what happened. It's how did she get there? That's what I'm saying. Usually, if
Oh,
your
to
upbringing, if you're that protective of a father, if you told your daughter about her self worth, if she knows that nobody should be able to do that to you, that's what I'm saying. That part of it, how did your self esteem get in the gutter in relationships? How did that
yeah,
happen?
I don't know if you can. There's so many stories out there of where people, come from good homes, they are given that, and then yet they still fall into situations like that. So, although you want to say, yes, where were you, or like how would that happen? He could have been very much present and tried to give her, love and assurance and all of that, and she still fell into that situation.
Okay, we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
You not heard stories of people like that?
I don't know what good homes are. Like people say, "Oh, I came from a good
Oh,
family,"
quote unquote.
exactly. So I don't know what what the connectivity points are from. Oh, this type of person will end up in an abusive relationship versus this type of person. I just know a man should not be able to tell you certain things or do certain things to you, and then your daddy's coming here acting like he's your protector and he's going to do something about it. I don't see the connection at all. I feel like what he's doing on TV is a fake. I don't think this is how he would be off
I
camera.
do agree with that. I think he's just trying to put on this front on TV
Yes.
for sure.
That's what
Yes.
I'm connecting. I don't know her how she grew up or whatever. I'm just saying there's just no way that this is how you are all the time. No way. That's not you. You think this is funny to say some of these things because you could tell just the way how he is. He thinks it's funny. He's making a joke, but semi serious. And I just like I don't believe you. You're not the hard dad that is going to do anything if this goes bad. You're not doing anything. So stop acting like
Oh,
you're gonna do something. So that's what I mean.
yeah.
So
Okay.
not a real psychologist. I do have a psychology degree, but I'm not a real psychologist. Okay, moving on from that because it was such a heavy like
That
scene.
part was really heavy.
Because
Yeah.
he this all started with Chris telling a story about his ex and how he went on a vacation with the ex, and she wouldn't talk to him. She wouldn't do nothing with
No
him.
attention, hold his
Yeah.
hand, nothing.
And I was just speculating that I was like, oh, so he was already half broken up with this girl. They had a vacation plan. They didn't want to waste the money. So they ended up going on this trip together. And she was just like, listen, we're just here as roommates so we can enjoy this vacation. I don't actually want to talk to you. Get off of me.
Is that what it was?
It just doesn't make any sense that you are with somebody, you go on a vacation, and then that person does not want to talk to you. And you didn't say there was a fight. You didn't say that something happened. It was just, I'm on this trip with my boyfriend, and I do not want to look at you. That doesn't connect to me.
Nothing to do with you. Yeah.
That's ridiculous. So they just needed to do the trip so they wouldn't lose all their money. And he forgot about that's what we were doing here. And now he turned into a whole nother story. But anyways, I still like Nicole and Chris. I hope that it works out for them in the long run. And I hope they get therapy. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. Okay. Well then who we want to go to next?
Oh God.
Let's go with Gina and Clint.
Her smiles are just annoying to me.
Dang.
Girl, close your mouth. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna go with what we were talking about last week, how she mentioned on the after show that at the wedding part she like wasn't having any feelings or whatever towards him, right?
Lies.
And then you know, this episode she's like, oh, he's a catch, he's sexy and all of this, and it's like, yep. Well, which one is it?
She's rewriting history. She's looking back on this and I never liked him. Yes, you did. You thought he was going to be your husband. You were giving it a chance. You were giving it effort. Just lean into that. And then say it all went to hell.
Like either you were lying then or you lying now. Which one of them you're lying? Because I kind of felt like some of her body language, even though she was saying, oh, he's sexy, he's hot and all this, it was kind of like, it didn't seem believable. But
she said on After Party, there was no attraction. Like,
no attraction.
None. And I just don't see the no attraction. Okay. But I could be wrong. She could have been lying then to just go along to get along. I don't know. It is possible.
Because if there was no attraction, I would have seen her acting more like Kirsten, right? Don't kiss me, don't touch me.
Or even if you did, it would be pecs, or it would be more like friend level, like a little bit more separation or something. But it's not like that at all. So I don't know which one, but you're right. It could be either or. One of them, somebody lying. Okay, it's fishy.
She's lying. Just the way it is.
Yeah.
What else with them? Oh, Clint, you know,
and his nasty.
Playboy Clint.
He need a shirt too.
He's ready to count.
Ugh.
You need a shirt too.
Ugh.
You know, not my cup of tea, but you know, for those who enjoy and like that, fine. But he was ready to pounce the first night. He was like, I'm ready to go.
Ugh.
Look at your face.
It's just gross. Like, why did he have hair on his chest in a shape of a tank top? There was like no hair right here, and then there was hair like right here.
On the side and down.
And then it was red. And I'm like, what is this? Is this like what? Okay, I'm sorry. Body shaming. Sorry.
Body shame. Yeah. What else happened with Gina and Clint? Gina went and met with his friends and his dad, I think. I think that's who the individuals were. And she started talking about how he was not her typical. I couldn't figure this out because she was like normally tall, dark, and handsome, or tall and dark. And
White
he's
people
not. So
say
he's
this.
not.
What's dark?
Mm,
What's
well,
that? Oh,
not us
okay.
dark.
Oh,
And like tan, tan. That's part of dark for her. Um, and so he doesn't normally fit that. But then she talked about her last relationship, how he was blonde and there was no initial attraction there, but the attraction came over time. So I guess that kind of goes along with what she was saying previously about not finding him no traction. But then get that same conversation, she was like, "Oh yeah, I think he's hot." So
lies.
again, ma'am, which one is
All of
it?
them. Just everything. Just tell that man to his face that he's gross. He's gross. And then he'll be having the nerve to be like, I'm in my sexual prime. Sir, ew. Ew. Ugh.
Oh, Playboy Clint. Playboy Clint.
Stop. Ugh, stop. I told you he needs a 20-something-year-old. That's what he needs. Not like a model, someone who doesn't have a real profession, like was just starting out into something, has nothing but time to be on his sailboat, and he will pay their way. You know what he needs to be on? 90 Day Fiance.
Girl, yes. Yes. That's the show he should have been on.
He really should be
He
on
don't
90 Day
sales around the world, so I'm sure he already found somebody.
Yes.
He just needed to register and get them and bring them back on over here.
Clint, listen to us, okay? When this fails with Gina, just go on 90 Day Fiance. I think this would work. Listen to us. We are professionals.
That would be the perfect show for him, though. Yes.
This is not
it.
Mm-mm.
What else? I think again, Gina being professional and having her business, that is going to get in the way. Of course, that's definitely going to get in the way.
He does not want an actual grown woman, like with bills and responsibilities and dreams and goals. No. He wants a young hot toddy so he can pounce and enjoy his years and what was he on? 65?
And they need him.
And just keep adding on to the 66 conquest. I don't know. It's just, this is not it.
Yeah, he needs somebody he wants somebody that's going to need him. She doesn't need him.
No.
And that's going to be a huge part for them.
Yes.
Who did he meet with? I can't remember. Did they show him meeting with some people? I don't remember.
He did. They were nice. It was kind of like Eris. It was just like nice. I don't remember who it is though. I can't remember. It wasn't that lady that was all up in his face though.
Oh, it was her brother and sister-in-law.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was real kind of, they were like, she about her business, that kind of stuff. She likes to travel.
Yes.
You guys need to figure out, they said they were very much alike. And so they'll have to figure out how they can, what did I say? That they're too much in common. They're
similar. Yeah, but I didn't see
they're very similar.
Where she was coming out.
Yeah, I forgot something that she was saying. But yeah, it wasn't really nothing like,
No, it was.
So I think that's probably about it with them.
The only thing I wanted to mention is that when they did get the basket, they found out that they were going to Jamaica. They said, "Is this the flight to the Bahamas?" And
she said, "Oh, I need to get my geography."
I
Um,
was like,
but I was like, did
oh,
he not say Jamaica? Like,
listen,
I thought he did. I
a
don't
mess.
know.
A mess.
She need to brush up on her geography.
A
Oh,
mess. And then she
okay.
says, other than the laughing part, she says that she's leaving her work phone because she wants to really disconnect and focus on her for once on this trip, which I thought that was kind of crazy that you're going to leave your whole work phone. But I guess if you have an issue, then you have an issue. And that's the way how you solve it. I mean, you can put it on mute, turn it off. I don't know, whatever. But she's leaving the phone altogether. So if there's an emergency,
I don't think she left that phone.
oh, that was
Oh,
just,
she might have left the work phone. They still got her personal phone number.
oh, yeah.
They'll
So if
call her.
something happens, yeah, that's true.
Because ain't no way
So
you can just totally,
that's what I'm saying.
you
You're
know,
building something like
connect.
they are hammering and sawing on your behalf, and you're just gonna disappear for a week, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that was all I had for them. Just the Bahamas. I done. I'm finished.
She didn't know her Jamaican colors.
Woo. All right.
All right. Let's go to Dominique,
Oh my
and
God.
Mackenzie, Matt.
So if this were Survivor, I would vote these couple off the island like right now. Just get off. Why? What are we watching? I don't even know what happened. You lead this conversation because I don't know what happened. What did they do?
My only note is from when she met with his mom, and mom was like, "This is nuts," like with her straight
But
face.
she said that like I don't care. I don't care. Now I'm
I
like, oh,
don't
it's
remember
hot in
anything
here.
else.
Is it hot?
I know.
Are you hot? It was so awkward because then nobody said anything. Is it just me? Is it me? And they were just like, this salad. What is this?
Mama's
Terrible.
is like, I am not here for it. I am not.
I
But
don't even,
supposedly she's actually cool with Dom. Like he said that
I don't believe
they
nothing Mac says. Do you believe Mac? I don't
like what
actually
just because
believe
they took a
anything.
picture don't mean they cool. That's it sounded like that's what he was alluding to. Like, oh, they took a picture afterwards and so like they're good. That picture
I
don't
don't
mean
believe
nothing.
anything he says. There's
Why?
there's a tinge of unbelief in every story he's told, everything he said. I feel there's either more to the story or he's embellishing everything. Everything. He dated black girls, but they didn't want to date him or they didn't want to move forward. The whole ex story, the reason why he lives with his friend's parents, the fact that Michigan is like an hour and a half away and, he wants to settle roots in Nashville, that he came here for love. Like all these things, I don't believe nothing. That he's, oh yeah, I'm really attracted to my wife. I don't know if I believe that either. I don't believe nothing that he says.
Nothing.
There is something about everything that he says, except for the honeymoon story that we found out from Dom. And that's probably because we didn't find out from Mac. We found out from Dom. Now, if he told the story, it would have been a whole
It would be something
different spin
different.
on this. That's probably why I believe that, because I don't believe him. I don't. There's something about him. I don't. I feel like he's like, I don't know if people have seen the Manchurian Candidate, which is like a fake president that people have put together to like take over the country or whatever. This is him. Somebody put him together. He's like a robot and he put him out there and he's a good-looking guy and he just says like the right things to say and he's just there for a good time and a paycheck and housing. I don't know. It's just something wrong. Something is wrong here.
Now I'm with you with the story with the ex. That story, it's definitely
There's
a
so
lot
many
you leaving
missing
out.
parts.
It is,
Yes.
yo,
It's not
like
right.
homegirl, we need to hear your story. We need to hear your Like, what's your story? What happened?
Where is
So
she? Is
I'm
she
with
not
you
on
there.
Instagram yet? Like, there's got to be somebody. She out there, girl. Where you at? Put out a story, cause this. Come on now, this is ridiculous. Okay, I'm sorry.
So is any of your groups that you are in, have they talked about it? They anybody have the same feelings?
Um, they really, you know what? People have really been going in on Dominique and her age. They talk about her maturity level. They talk about like how she doesn't really say much. You know what I mean? Which I agree with.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also point to the previews that we've been seeing since before the season with her with the box storming out of there. I also heard a new perspective that what if Mac did something wrong and she was just leaving because she was fed up with it? Maybe it's not just not her, maybe it's him. You know,
Something.
and we're all assuming that it's her because she's 25. You know what I mean? So that's all I've heard, but nothing really on him. But every time he opens his mouth, I'm like, mm, I don't know. I don't know. And then I kind of side. So he goes and meets with her mom, grandma,
Grandma
and
and
somebody
aunt,
else
I
was
think.
there. There's always a third person. I'm like, what are you doing here? Because you didn't say nothing. So it's a third person there. And the grandma was like, oh, so you're why haven't you got eaten up, ravaged by the women in Nashville? All these hungry women out here in Nashville. How come this didn't happen? Grandma, because he got here 2 weeks ago.
2
That's
weeks
why.
ago, right?
Okay.
Like, you
He
just got
just got
here.
off the plane on first class because they didn't know he was there. That's why, Grandma. Okay. So don't think it's just because of him. He just got here for the show. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. There was the aunt though. She did ask him
What she
something, and I
asking?
can't remember what it was. Um, they did go into the race part again about, and that's where
Why?
he brought up
Why?
that he has
Why?
dated mainly white and Latina women, but he has gone out on dates with black women. Um,
They
which we
killing
said
me
that we like one
that
date, we
yeah.
even dated.
No. I'm over this race
What did aunt
conversation.
say?
I'm over it. You got on this show. You said you were open. They would not have put you with a white man if you didn't say you were open. So the fact that you have a white man now, the very first, these are the only real conversations they've had was, are you sure you want to date a black woman? Do you understand what goes into that? What if he doesn't? Then what? What's the next step?
Oh, you know what I was watching last night? So I started watching Girlfriends like at night, like before I go to bed, just do it. And it was the episode where Tony was dating the white guy, and he was like running for mayor for LA.
Oh,
And so
yes.
she had to tell him about her weave and what it was.
Yep.
This just
Yep.
makes me like,
But you
if
learn that
you
stuff
dated a
over
black woman
time.
before, you should already know all of this.
I mean,
Like,
yes,
not
but
saying
he didn't really date a
some of
black
the
woman. He didn't date. He went out on a date with maybe
a
two
dates,
black
right?
people. He did not actually date a black woman because they were like,
Right.
you're a robot and I can't deal with this." Okay. But it's like, what is the purpose of going through this? Are you ready? Are you sure? Are you okay with this? Are you gonna treat like what is the point? Are you gonna give him like let's do a test. Let's do an obstacle course and see what your answers are going to be. If you're walking down the street and you're holding my daughter's hand and they say, "Hey, you're dating a black girl," what are you going to say?
What's your response?
What's the response?
You know these scenarios.
Just let's see if they actually like each other first. Let's do that. And then as you start liking somebody, you can tell them historical information of this is what's happened to me in the past, or this is what happened to my mom because she's dated a lot of white people, and that kind of stuff. I don't even know if they like each other yet. Where are we talking about this? Like, I hope they do not have another episode talking about this stuff again. Let's just see if they have chemistry because I can't even tell if they have chemistry.
It's gonna come up again at some
Ugh.
point for sure. Chemistry, it just seemed like they're getting along. Like if you just met somebody, it's just the hey, how you doing, get to know you. But yeah, I'm not seeing any real chemistry between the two. It's just you're like if you're just meeting somebody and you're just starting out. That's
Yeah.
what I say. So then let's get to the honeymoon, and you
Oh
can give the
my
story
God.
about the first class
First
and
of all,
what
because
have
I'm
you.
confused, because you're gonna have to jump in with me. We see a
Oh, okay.
video in the actual episode of Mac doing a selfie, and he's sitting next to Dominique, and he's like, "Oh, um, I think he says that he's in the middle seat or whatever. I would prefer first
Mhm.
class, but oh well." I feel like it was
Mhm.
something like that, very nonchalant, like, "Oh, okay, he's in the middle seat, whatever." Okay. Then we find out on the after party that
Oh
Dom was
no.
like, "Oh, there was a little situation," and she like downplayed this whole thing where he actually like canceled our tickets, and because he was trying to upgrade the tickets to first class because he didn't want to be in. Oh, Tay, did we lose you? Are you frozen? Oh, we made it all the way. Are you okay? You good? Okay, you're back.
So that
So she was saying, "Oh, he canceled our tickets because it looks like they had a stop in Miami or Atlanta."
Atlanta.
So the first flight was in the middle seat, and then the second flight he was trying to upgrade to first class, but he ended up canceling it, right? Or whatever, push the wrong button, whatever. So then he had gotten to a little argument because then he had to rebook the tickets. Then it was still a middle seat because stop arguing with people who have control over your livelihood, because guess what they're gonna do?
Hello.
They're gonna put you back in the middle
Total
seat. So then
opposite of what you want.
right. And so he was so upset that he ended up sitting next to Nicole and Christopher on the plane and not your new wife. What is happening? Why didn't Dom sit in the middle? Why didn't he get the window seat? I'm confused because they never brought that up. And Keisha, I am disappointed because usually you get the tea. Why you didn't ask that? Why didn't they just switch seats? Why?
That was my first question. I was like, okay, so why didn't she just say, okay, I'll give you the seat? And it could have been she just that stubborn, like, no, I want window and I'm keeping my window seat.
But I could see the first leg he did it. So then we said, let's switch for the next leg then. So we both get kind of what we want and we both kind of sacrifice that seat because you're married now.
Compromise. That's what a lot of what marriage is, right? And they already can't even do that. Nothing.
I
That's
was
your sign
just
right there.
like, because they don't like each other. When you don't like somebody, you like, I ain't moving my seat. What's wrong with you? You better go over there with Chris and Nicole. You what? Random. Random.
It was very random. And then I'm like, so wait, what now? You up here trying to upgrade, but end up canceling? Like, how in the world did you do that? You
Because
should have just left it.
he probably couldn't upgrade. Maybe he had to cancel in order to see if there was any more seats left. Either way, you're at the
You
airport.
should have
You
left.
need to ask for help. But I
Right. Oh, so
think
you should
he
have left it
tried.
alone to get there.
Right.
And maybe on your way back, you try to do something. But
Ridiculous.
all of that in the chaos of trying to get down there, nah, just accept the middle seat. Or like you said, do it the first leg, second leg, y'all switch. Or switch in the middle of the flight itself. Like, y'all could
Yeah.
have worked that out.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
But yeah, I think that shows a lot about him too. And what you said, it's believable coming from her. Where
Because
him,
I'm
it would have
telling
been
you,
this
he
whole
would have said
dramatic
something.
story
He
of
said
something.
they canceled my tickets, and I asked him a question. It would have been a whole different story coming from him. I don't believe none of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe what he is. So yeah, that was very telling. And even the way how she told that story, it was so matter of fact. And there was still no indication that she liked this man. Nothing. Zero. I see nothing. Can we just vote them off? No, we can't. Okay. Go ahead.
Like she hasn't even said. Did she say she found him handsome? She did say he's not her normal type.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she mentioned that on the after show, but she didn't even say like, "Oh, I do think he's handsome. I'm attracted to him." I haven't heard any of that. Not that I can
No,
recall.
she talked more about that body pillow than she did about him.
The body. Listen, she had that like just in case. It's gonna go right in between us. We ain't gonna be nothing happening,
Oh, she did tell
and
Keisha,
nothing still happening.
oh, the fact that he brought my bag, he lugged my luggage around the airport shows that he was like a good husband. And I was just like, did you pull that out of your butt? Is that the best thing that you can prove that you have a good husband is that he carried your luggage? They have people for that in the airport. It's
They
just,
have the porters. Yeah.
I don't,
Lord.
I was like, wow,
Um,
okay. That's a good
yeah,
husband.
she had to reach for that one.
Reach,
Something nice. Oh yeah,
reach.
yeah. Mm.
Reach. But I did what I did hear on the little Facebook groups and stuff like that. People were saying that there was some energy between Eris and Dominique on the after party. I didn't catch this, but that
I
she
can see
was like
that.
leaning in. He was leaning in. He described his celebrity crush as like Lauren London, and she's
Mm-hmm.
biracial and thick, and Dominique is biracial. I mean, people they be connecting dots
Reaching,
that are not actually there. So I was like, wow, y'all really pull that out. But I didn't see that
right?
vibe. But it was multiple people that were like, yeah, I saw it. Yeah, they was this, and she was crossing her legs closer to him, and she was like, I was just like, oh, okay.
Ma'am, Keisha's on that side, so she kind of have to learn that way to
Exactly.
talk
That's what
to
I thought
Keisha.
too. But I guess they were saying
And
he
they
was also
didn't.
leaning into her, like
I didn't
leaning
see
back.
none of that.
Either I
He
didn't. I
kind of was
missed it.
like this the whole time, and I was like, "Well, dang, dude, sit up!" Like,
That's how he is. He's very just like I'm chilling. And what? So,
yeah.
anyways,
So yeah, I didn't see any of that.
we vote them
All
off the
right,
island.
last couple, Shaq and Kirsten. Um, initially was like, okay, this is like a little vibe is starting to develop between the two of them. They're talking. He carried her through the threshold. There was this moment where I was just like, oh, this would be the perfect moment for them to kiss.
Would
And
it?
he asked her for a
Really?
kiss.
He did?
And she said,
No.
no. I said, dang,
This girl is playing
dang.
with this man so hard. You gonna sit on this man's lap after the wedding, be all close on him. He did ask in the middle of her sentence, which was annoying as hell because it seems like he did say her bridesmaids told him, "Oh, you know that she really wants to kiss you. You just need to ask." I think he had been thinking about that from the time they said that to the time that she sat on his lap, and he was just like, "I just need to ask. I need to ask. I need to ask." And she's talking, and he's just like, "So can I get a kiss?" I was like, "Sir, I'm still talking." But she could have gave him a pick and stop playing. You are making this a bigger issue than it needs to be. Give that man a peck. Be like, I don't want to like have a full on makeout session because then
Right.
said later makes sense is that kissing could lead to other things, and I'm not ready for that yet. But a peck
A
on the
peck.
lips is more than or is less than what you did at the bachelorette party. Just give the man a peck. Just give it to him. Stop playing. So
You're married to the man now. I mean, really, at this point,
you
a
sleeping in the
peck
same
is
bed.
nothing. And you about to be sleeping in the bed with the man. A peck would be nothing. And it just in that moment, it just would have been like it would have went so far for him that he wouldn't need another kiss from you for probably for a little bit because he'd be like, okay,
Yeah.
that's all I needed. I just want just something, some indication that you like me
Mm,
or we have something that we can grow into.
yeah.
No, that girl was like, nah. So she goes, changes, get into bed, and they're all, cuddling and seem like having good conversation, getting to know each other and everything. So there's Now, would you say there's chemistry between them two,
I
other
think
than the kids, minus the not having kids?
there's chemistry with Shaq and Kirsten, not Kirsten and Shaq. Is that not how chemistry works? I think he likes her. I think he likes her, and she's not sure. I think the quintessential on paper, they look good together. They got her
Mm-hmm.
exactly what she wanted. We don't know about the penis size, but they got her what she wanted. And he's happy with what he has so far. Stank attitude and all. He loves it. He knows how to spin a negative like nobody's business.
All right, we'll get stars back. I agree. It's definitely he likes her way more than she likes him. She's still very at a snail's pace trying to get to know him and warm up to him and all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, at the pace she's going, it might be year two before she get ready to give him a kiss. Like it's
It
just
better not.
so slow,
It better not be another
so
what's
slow.
that girl name? That held out on a kiss for like a month. Oh my gosh.
Which
Mirla.
season?
Mirla and Gil.
Oh, Mirla. Mm,
Yes.
mm,
So
yeah. Let me think. She met with his uncle and friend. That went well. I think they just talked about him working, like, but he's willing to put it aside for what he wants. Like he'll make time and everything. So no big
she was
issues
like,
there. And
yeah, I want to support him, but I also don't want to get lost in his goals and his everything that he wants to achieve. So that makes sense.
hmm yes. And then he met with her tribe, her girls, and remember, I think it was last week you were saying how you thought they would go in a little bit more, but they didn't. So I think here is where they like was trying to go in on him. And he kind of seemed, or at least they cut it where he was kind of speechless at some of the questions.
No, I feel like where they talk about Jasmine and pageant answers, I feel like he has pageant answers. I don't think we actually know who Shaq is on the real yet. I think he gives
Really?
very lofty answers. He knows how to spin things to sound positive. He also likes to talk very highly of himself and what he's accomplished, which is all
Mm-hmm.
good. But what is actually his personality? What would you say his personality is? Is he a jokester? Is he like just, I have no idea because the answers that he says are more like, he sounds like a politician. So not a pageant, but he's more like a politician. Like he is a perfectly formed answer and he knows how to
Mm-hmm.
kind of just change the direction of the conversation. So I actually don't know who he is yet. I have no idea.
I would say they haven't given us a lot to really see who he is, right? Like we've only seen him in preparing for the wedding.
Mhm.
Um, we saw him a little bit in regards to what was it, his mentees that came with him to do that. But I mean,
But I don't know what we got from. That's what I'm saying. So
personality wise,
if we talk about Eris is an F boy, that's the personality, even if that's the edit, right? Clint is gross. All right. Christopher is like that nice guy who thinks he's funnier than he is, but he's probably going to treat Nicole well. Mac is a liar. What is Shaq? I don't know. I have no idea. I can't even
I,
put like some words to it other than politician at this point,
yeah.
or PhD, or I guess we could say educated, but educated
I
is
mean,
not
I think
personality.
overall it would just be he's the hard worker. Like he's almost the male Gina and work. Everything has just gone into work and education and trying to get his PhD. So but that's not personality.
Right,
That's
that's what
just
I
what
mean.
you've been doing.
Yeah.
So I don't
So
know
I'm waiting for
what
that.
that person.
I'm waiting to see how that personality fits with her personality. Cause I can tell you what her personality is. She's like prestigious, high and mighty, Southern Belle. I declare, clutch my pearls. That's her. That's what I'm reading so far based on what we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what he is. I have no idea. So I'm interested to see
Yeah.
that. But I guess they were trying to go in a little bit on him. But the one friend that was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna grill him like a what is that? Rack of barbecue ribs." She didn't really say much. She was just like, "Oh okay, okay." I was like, "All right, I guess that was grilling." So, but it was
Okay.
okay to me.
Yeah, yeah. So then I think the next biggest thing with them is, and we talked about it actually quite a bit last week, is the honeymoon. They're not going right away to the honeymoon because he has to give a research presentation in Jackson, Mississippi, of all places.
That sounds like
And he's like,
there.
yeah, you're not going. You're coming with me to come
I'm
support
just
me and see what
like,
I do.
who made this decision? Like, I could see if he said, would you like to come with me? I would really like you to see me in my element. Would you like to come with me? Or would you want to go ahead and then I'll meet you at the vacation? The fact
Give me options.
give me options. What do you
Give
think?
me
Okay,
options.
so he gave her the option. What do you think she would take?
Go to Jamaica. That would be mine too.
I'll see you there. I'll get the bed
I'll be there
warm for
waiting for
you.
you. I'll be there waiting for
Oh
you.
my
I'm gonna miss you.
gosh. Oh my
And
gosh.
give me some reason to miss you. Let me go. I'll be there waiting for you.
Terrible.
And then she like, all I'm gonna do is be laying up in the hotel waiting for you.
Well,
Yeah, no.
she didn't know. I don't think she knew the agenda. I feel like I'm kind of on the fence, right? It was only a day later. I think
Oh,
I
was
would.
it only a day?
Yes, he said it was just a day. We're just going a day later.
Oh,
So
okay.
for me, I probably would go to Jackson with my husband if I liked him. If I was like, I really do, I said I want an educated man. You're getting your PhD, you're presenting something, we're only going to be a day late. I think I would go with my husband. Um, if it was
Okay,
like
I didn't get that it
3 days,
was just a day.
yeah, it was just supposed to be a
I
day.
heard him say something about this weekend, and so I'm thinking weekend. That's like 2 to 3 days
Okay.
later.
I could maybe I
But
missed it. But I thought he said one day, and I was like, one day. I don't know these other people.
I could
I'll
do
wait.
one day
I'll go with
too.
you. Yeah.
I could do one day too. We go. I'm gonna be tired from the wedding and all that kind of stuff too, so I can just chill while you go do, and then we can leave from there. I could do
Yeah.
one day too.
Yeah.
But I thought it was like 3-4 days,
I guess
and it
we'll
was
find
like,
out.
oh,
But I thought it was just going to be a day late, and then she gets there and she's like, I'm just sitting in a hotel room all day because maybe it's a whole conference, so other things are happening, and he just probably might have an hour slot, so there's nothing else for her to do until he's ready to do his presentation. So now she's just like sitting there doing nothing. I could kill time like nobody's business, I guess, because I'm more of like a homebody and I like my personal time. So I don't think I would be mad if that was the case, as long as we going to Jamaica tomorrow. That's all I'm saying. Just like get me back over there on my honeymoon right after that. But yeah, if it's 2 or 3 days, I think I would want to go on my vacation too and be like, I will see you there. Good luck though.
yeah.
Live stream it so I can see it.
I
I
was
don't know.
saying, we'll FaceTime, we'll do something. I'll be there to root you on.
Rah, rah,
See
rah.
what you gonna have when you get here. Now look, I've
Mhm.
got us all prepared. I want to sign us up for all these activities. Yes, I'll be waiting for you. But Jackson, Mississippi,
Wow.
yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else with these couples you
Yes.
have?
Okay, so
Oh,
we started talking about the honeymoon with Christopher and Nicole, but we missed Aris in Jamaica with his F boy stank attitude, laying in the tub, telling Jasmine to go get him some grapes.
Oh,
We not gonna talk about
I
that.
forgot. I forgot about that part,
Oh,
girl. I kind of was
thank you,
like,
Jonelle.
you
Hold
got
on,
some nerve.
we got a comment. Thank you, Jonelle. It was one day. Thank you for siding with me. Appreciate it. Shantae was not
Good to
listening.
know. I just
I mean,
heard
this is
this
not lit.
weekend or something. I was like, oh, this weekend? You mean I got to wait, go with you 3 to 4 days? Nah.
Nope, not
But okay,
happening.
one day, I got you.
Yes. So Aris, I was just like, oh, he's playing. And I think she thought that he was playing too. She was just like, oh, okay. And he was like, no, no, no. Go get me some
Go
grapes.
get some grapes. Feed me.
And she was just
I
like, oh,
got some
okay.
nerve.
And you could tell she was hesitant, like, okay, let me this night
Because
one.
this was practice. He was like, this is practice. Like, this is going to go down. So you need to go ahead and practice how to do this because this going to happen again.
And she was really feeding this man grapes. But I'm not mad at Jasmine, but I'm wondering how this is going to develop with Aris because he is an only child. I kind of grew up as an only child. And he already said he's spoiled and maybe he's used to women doing stuff for him. I don't think this is Jasmine. So I don't know how long she's going to keep up this nice act. I know it's the honeymoon. That might be the end date of that. Like she
When we get back to the real world,
dang
when we get back to
cousin,
Nashville,
you, both of y'all, need to just go ahead and procreate, work on your incest because I'm done. Okay.
wait, you said with the cousin?
Miss No T-shirt. Because what is this? Feed me grapes. Feed me grapes. How about, or let's
Like,
feed
she's
each
his
other.
servant. There we go.
Let me get in here too. You feed
He
me, I
say
feed
come
you.
get in with me. He say
No,
come
he
get in.
didn't
This is
want.
what
He
we gonna
didn't
be
want her in
doing.
there. No, he did not want her in there.
No,
He
it was
threw
just
out.
him.
Ugh. Him and Clit are just gross. I don't know how. How did these people get on this show? Christopher is my only normal well, he's not even normal. He got issues. What's going on? Okay, I'm sorry.
I was you told him.
Yeah, that's all I had. That was my last thing. I don't know.
I kind of let that go right out of my mind.
Feed me great.
All right, y'all. Well, that is it for this week's recap of Married at First Sight with the Coley Crowns.
And
as always,
a mini coily crown.
a mini Coley Crowns, who you may see make additional guest appearances throughout the season. So get used to her. Thank you, Janelle, for watching. Appreciate you.
Live. Yes.
And anybody else that's watching later, feel free to join us every Sunday at 4:30 and join in the conversation. So until then, we want to remind you to do what?
Protect your throne. And don't feed that man no grapes. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.